Right now, we'll head over to the Indian River Land Trust and talk with Ken Grudens. Hello, Ken.
Good morning, Bob.
Always something happening in between the time we've talked, and today's no exception.
Exactly. Yeah, when we spoke last time, I told you we were working on an acquisition, and we actually completed a key acquisition of a conservation piece last week. We closed on the property. It's small. It's 1.6 acres, but it's a critical connector along the south prong of the St. Sebastian River up along the edge of the Sebastian Highlands.
Now, is this a piece of land that could have been developed?
Yes, it definitely could have been developed. Not necessarily extensively, but it's a critical piece because it touches the river. And this is a stretch of river that is more of a slough. It's situated between routes 510 and 512 on the edge of the Sebastian Highlands. And our hope is that someday we can bring to realization the idea of a plan that was put in place 20 plus years ago called the St. Sebastian River Greenway plan. And this was something that a number of nonprofits and organizations put together, and the county actually incorporated into its comprehensive plan back in 2006.
Wow. This has been a long time coming.
It is. You know, the recession kind of slowed things down for a while on both sides of the equation, but this is the third property that we've been able to acquire along that stretch to fill in the gaps between other acquisitions that have occurred by organizations. The city of Sebastian owns some of that land. The county has acquired a couple of important pieces. So we're hoping to be able to sort of keep that puzzle going. But this piece was the last piece needed in sort of the northern section where ultimately a trail system will be planned, hopefully. We're working with a number of other organizations in the city of Sebastian to look at and assess what's possible along that corridor.
Yeah, I think the way Sebastian seems to be interested in growing, of course, there's a lot of property owners interested in being annexed by the city of Sebastian. There's
a lot of that going on. Yes.
Yeah.
There's been a significant amount, but there are also natural resource departments that want to create more trails, and there are people that want to see that. So, yeah, even though that, and because that other development might be going on, there's going to be more of a need for recreational corridors and greenways. And this eventually, if this trail or multiple trails get developed, they'll be surrounded by development on both sides. And the good part about buying these properties is that you're creating more of a buffer to the river as well. You're protecting this important habitat corridor because technically development can come pretty close to waterways. And this way we're creating larger buffers, which again eventually become trails. There's just an absolutely gorgeous, I'll call it ancient cypress forest along this slough with cypress trees that are 5 and 6 feet in diameter. I don't know how old they are. I would guess they're older than the incorporated cities of Vero and Sebastian.
Yeah, that's what you guys do best, I think, is you find that land and then you utilize it for the public, or find ways that the public can use it as well. And
we try to. Yeah, I mean, not every single property is conducive to that, but in the meantime, we are protecting water quality, wildlife habitat, treed areas. So it's all a good win-win regardless. But we do try to create the public access. We've got 3 public trails that are open to the public dawn to dusk. We're working on our Coastal Oaks Preserve project, which will be an incredible living classroom for both groups to run programs out there for education and research, but also to provide some level of public access.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, how that's coming along. You got to be getting close to opening that up, aren't you?
We finally actually broke ground on the structures that are on the property. We've got this gorgeous native landscape that we've installed along this entrance road, and then there'll be a gathering pavilion constructed that's actually underway right now, and a storage barn, and eventually there'll be a place where people can come into this gathering pavilion and go out into these habitats on the 226-acre property. So we're excited about. We have a lot of irons in the fire, but we never forget that we need to acquire key properties. And so this is, one of the ones we've been working on for a while, and we're really pleased to have that done.
Yeah, where's the classroom going to be located?
That's in South Vero. It's really along US 1, almost to the St. Lucie County line. As you drive south past Oslo Road and go south toward the county line, all of a sudden you'll be driving along, and then there'll be just green on both sides. And that's the Coastal Oaks Preserve.
Well, it's
not open. It's not open yet to the public.
Yeah, but it will be, hopefully, maybe by the end of the year, perhaps?
Probably next summer.
Next summer?
Yeah.
Well, all right. Have you got any, well, maybe you don't want to tell me, other properties that you're looking at as well?
We are. I can't tell you because we keep those conversations confidential, protect the landowner and protect the land trust. But we always are looking at a couple of possibilities, and we are working on right now. So we're excited about keeping that ball in the air and continue to acquire key pieces because, as you and I have discussed, there's always plenty of development to counterbalance that. So we try to create important places that are protected forever.
Yep, and if you go over the bridges and you look either way at the lagoon and you see a lot of vacant place or just stuff with no condos or apartment complexes or anything on it, you can thank the Land Trust for a lot of that.
Land Trust and the county has done a great job. And no, it's a lot of people I think took that for granted, but there's a lot of green space along the river that's going to stay that way, which we're all really fortunate.
Yeah. All right. Well, Ken, anything else before we go?
Well, just again, save the date for our annual benefit, November 12th. It's coming around before you know it.
All right. And, of course, people want more information about the Land Trust. They can go to your website, which is?
IRLT.org, O-R-G.
IRLT.org. All right, Ken, thanks for being on the show. Can't wait to talk to you again and see what else you're up to.
Thanks very much, Bob.